What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation, my friends. How's everyone feeling today? Feeling good? So am I. I'm even feeling better the fact that I get to chop it up with you all for the next hour. Thank you, as always, for taking time out of your busy schedule to tune in to another great convo here at the Arrington Gavin Show. On today's conversation, we're gonna continue sharing just a little bit of what of our previous show, talking about folks who are boycotting um due to the Trump administration's DEI stances. I've mentioned earlier, the famous Amanda Seals. She is boycotting a lot of places, as I mentioned on the last show. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes talking about that. Then we're going to fast forward and continue just to share, things that are occurring in his first 100 days of Trump. We're in a new year, new administration. The effects of the new administration has you're seeing a hit on legacy media. You're seeing a hit on folks who supported Donald Trump. You're seeing a hit for those who have been put in the category of traitors, hypocrites, right? Folks who just fall to the knees of Trump, and it's like, you're weak, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, whoa, it really is like a soap opera. So we're going to talk a little bit about all that good stuff. Of course, we're going to throw in some pop culture news in there if we have some time. And also some sad news that occurred earlier during this really it's just a a while, really, earlier during this week. And so we will share that sad news as well. Um, and then also a fall from grace of a fellow U.S. senator out of New Jersey. Can you guess who I'm talking about? Recently, just got sentenced to serve some time in jail. Hmm. Well, I'll let you think that. But as we continue on, as I mentioned before, my friends, you are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your host, Arrington Gavin, your friend, your homie. Do me a favor, continue to support the program. Follow me on all of our social media platforms. You can follow us at the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram, Blue Sky, X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as check us out on Substack. Yeah, that's like my kind of public uh, um, diary where I just kind of go crazy on the fingers instead of me talking all the time. Sometimes I just, I type something that's on my mind. And look, Substack is where it's at. I'm new to it. I've shared a few posts and pieces here and there, and so I'm just hey, I'm just having fun with it. I'm having fun with that. Also, guys, I'm starting to toss up some bonus clips via audio, so it's available on our podcast platforms where I just toss up some bonus clips if I don't have time to talk about it within this hour. I share that on podcasts as well as on our social media platforms. So yeah, that's that. Look, we drop new episodes 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays, available on all digital and streaming platforms. Okay, you can watch us on the streaming platforms of YouTube as well as Rumble. So do me a favor, please, 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 please subscribe, like, comment, give us a thumbs up. All right, share amongst your circle of friends, family, those who are you would assume and think that will enjoy the content that we try to bring here on the show. So please share it with friends. Also, if you are, the if you're the podcast guru, right? If you prefer to listen to voices, look, you can check us out. Available on all podcast platforms. You hear me? iHeartRadio, Odyssey, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. The list goes on and on. Multiple ways you can tune into the Aaron Gavin Show. And then lastly, you can check us out on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk out of the Metro Atlanta area. So for all of our fans out there in the Metro Atlanta area, hello. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin show at 11 p.m. All right, 11 p.m. Monday through Friday. So, okay, let me go ahead and continue. What am I missing here? Oh, let's go ahead and start it off with our fun fact of the day. And then we're going to get it going with the show. So, look, on today's fun fact, did you all know that it's a common misconception that squirrels forget where they hide about half of their nuts? I thought this was funny because I'm like, do people really care about where squirrels hide their nuts? The interesting thing is, every time I see a squirrel, I don't see squirrels with the nut in their hand. I've rarely seen that. I just every time I catch a squirrel, he's like on his like you know morning stroll across town, always crossing them streets. Squirrels are very smart, by the way, because it was funny. I was um playing with our dog, and he's Carter's 2 years old. He's a Cavachon. He's a mixture between a King Cavalier Charles and a Bichon Frise. He's somewhere wandering around. He's probably literally face on the door as I'm doing this this show, because he's a daddy's dog. He's a daddy's boy. He really is. And so when I'm running with Carter, playing him around the house and stuff like that, if I run towards him, sometimes he will hesitate, and it'll be like by the time I'm getting closer and closer, he doesn't move, and I'm like, I'm almost about to fall, because I'm like, Carter, move! You're supposed to run away from me or try and avoid me running towards you. And in my mind, I'm like, Lord, don't want to wish any harm, but I'm like, why does our dog act like deers when they always that use that phrase, deer stuck in headlights or something like that? Because it's like you're waiting and seeing something come at you, and you just stop, you pause, you freak out. See, squirrels are different. Squirrels are like, oh snap, you ain't about to get me. Or if they know they can't cross the street, they're like, shoot, I'm gonna think of another way, because this street is a little too long. They are smart animals. They are really smart. Um, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, let's get it going. That was our fun fact. Again, every show we always love to have a little tradition when we throw in a fun fact, just to kind of, you know, uh, 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 warm up the pipes, start the conversation. Start the conversation with something. Um, yeah. So let me go ahead and before we move to a quick commercial break, I do have to thank some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin show, like our friends over at Bernardo's Menswear. That is right, my good friend Miss Bernardo Johnson, founder, owner of Bernardo's Menswear. Fellas, this is for you. It's time to elevate your wardrobe. At Bernardo's Menswear, they believe style isn't just about clothes, it's about making a statement. From tailored suits that fit like a dream to casual essential that define effortless sophistication, Bernardo's has it all. Weddings, interviews, or a night on the town, they've got you covered. Visit Bernardo's Menswear today, because first impressions matter. Style yours with them now. All right. Sharp, timeless, you. You can go ahead and check out Bernardo's Menswear by going online at www.bernardosmenswear.com, or you can visit him in person at a storefront located in Norfolk, Virginia. So if you happen to be in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, look, I highly recommend to find his shop and, go check him out. Tell him that Arrington sent you. It is in the MacArthur Mall, first floor, located in the heart of downtown Norfolk. And he keeps you looking sharp from head to toe with some mean threads. Let me tell you something. You heard it right there. Weddings, interviews, casual, business casual, custom. He has it all. And as a business owner, as a media personality, I guess you can consider me, a member of the media. All right. And also, as I mentioned earlier, small business owner. I'm at a lot of functions, a lot of networking events, and I'm usually like a pretty well dressed guy. I find something from time to time, but if I feel like I'm hitting a wall, I'm like, oh, I gotta upgrade my wardrobe. And I'm telling you, if you feel good, you have that boost of confidence. If you feel like you're looking fresh and clean, you have that confidence that can guide you to to great to the promised land, in a sense, right? Great relationships, success, you name it. It's always important to make sure that you take care of your brand, and your appearance is a part of your brand. So again, I want to shout out Bernardo's Menswear for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. My friends, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Oh, don't you just love that music? It just makes you want to move, get up off your seat, and just shake your tail feather. Yes, that's right. I said tail feather. I'm not that old, guys. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, on the last show, we were heading towards the end by talking about a lot of the world's response, and well, I guess you could say reactions more than just response. Reactions to the Trump administration on their stance on DEI, putting an end to it. Uh, uh, really giving the go ahead to corporations to end their DEI programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so, one vocal voice, very popular. She's a co-starred on the hit HBO show Insecure. She was a very short-lived co-host on the daytime Emmy-winning daytime talk show The Real, and she's actress, comedian, singer, radio host, Amanda Seals. Amanda Seals has always been known to not back down to whatever she thinks that is not right. She will share it on her social media. She has a huge uh fan base when it comes, on our social media space and things of that nature. And so she recently had shared that she will be leaving Meta. She'll be leaving Meta, which is owned by Zuckerberg. Meta covers Instagram and Facebook. She says she is permanently leaving those platforms. She has boycotted Starbucks, Walmart, Amazon, you name it. And so again, I bring up the question to you all. What's your stance? What's your thoughts on DEI? Right? Be honest with me. Look, if you're for it, then you're for it. If you're against it, then you're against it. Share your reasons and your takes, your stances on DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Look, if you criticize it, I'm not gonna shun you here on the show, right? I've my stance. I'm for it. I'm all for it. Why? Because it's about providing an opportunity. It's not all about opposed to merit. Because last time I checked, those who are involved in the DEI programs, guess what? They have merit because they're highly qualified. It's about opportunity, folks. It's about opportunity. So again, give me, what's your stances? For those who are pro DEI, are you an Amanda Seal? Are you boycotting Target? Are you boycotting Amazon? Are you literally saying, you know what, bump that? I'm going to invest in strictly minority owned, women owned businesses. That's where my dollars are going to go to. I am fully done. Or are you the ones that says, good riddance? I'm tired of people just giving these folks, hiring them and giving them opportunities because of their race, right? I'm tired that everything is all about, oh, I need to meet this quota, so I have to hire these folks. I have to do this. I have to do that. What are your takes on that? We'll eventually do a polling. I think on social media we're gonna be doing a polling on this, and I'm gonna continue to I'm not actually share I'm gonna share a piece on Substack. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this as well. I did share a bonus clip with about the DEI boycott, so be sure to check that out. It's already available now wherever you get your podcast, so you can just tune into the Arrington Gavin show. You'll find it right there, labeled as bonus clip. And so yeah, let me go ahead and digress from that, move it on to another story that caught my attention. So Carrie Underwood, that's right, Carrie Underwood, the oh so popular multi-talented, award-winning country artist. It's interesting. She's only been country. She's always been country. She's never came out that genre as country, but she has a wonderful voice. American Idol alum, former she was a winner of American Idol. Um she was the first name that was mentioned as one of the performers for the most recent inauguration, Trump inauguration. And so a lot of folks really was like, doesn't shock me, even though she was always very quiet about her politics and her values and things of that nature. Well, I take it back. She wasn't quiet about her values, but she was always quiet when it came to talking about politics. Um, so it really didn't you didn't assume that it was gonna really affect her brand, especially because she is a country music artist. Not trying to say all country music artists have the same political values, but I mean the majority they do, right? When it comes to the country genre, right? They're pro guns, they're pro Second Amendment, well, same thing, pro guns, they're pro America, all right? They're, they're very they're very forward when it comes to advocating for the military and armed forces. Um they again aim more towards strong conservative values. So it's not too much of a shocker when you do hear a country artist, because majority of the performers were country artists. You had Carrie Underwood, Rascal Flatts. I don't know what freaking genre Kid Rock is in. I guess I don't know what he's in his own genre, but a lot of folks, a lot of them are, lean right. So to me, it wasn't a shocker, but I guess it to a lot of folks, they're like, oh, how could you? Why I bring this up, because recently it was reported that Carrie Underwood has been losing, has streaming has gone down for her. Is actually taking a tumble after her performance at the inauguration, which I will say, Carrie Underwood, she did the damn thing. She has a beautiful voice. They had technical, because she was performing America the Beautiful, and they were having technical difficulties with the track. So she just sung it a cappella. Now she did it very short. She did like one verse because it was pretty short for me. But she sung it a cappella, and it was she killed it. I mean, thank God she's a great singer, because if they had somebody that could not sing and they did a cappella, yikes. Not a good way to start your administration, huh, there, Trump. Anyway, says here that let's see. Oh, so it says here that Carrie Underwood's rendition of America the Beautiful at the recent inauguration went viral because she hit technical difficulties, but all that extra attention failed to result in an increase in listenership for the American Idol winner. The fact is that her streaming numbers actually fell on inauguration day, according to entertainment data analyst Illuminate. Her music was streamed 1.46 million times on the day of the inauguration, down 6% from the previous Monday, when it was streamed 1.55 million times. Now, Billboard reports that the rapper Nelly, who performed at the inauguration, had also saw a decline in his listenership. That's a whole nother story. I've been very vocal. You can check me out on social media in the past episodes. His songs went his songs were streamed 1.4 down from his 1.6. So you're seeing a difference, or or a slight tumble. I mean, again, a lot of her and a lot of Carrie Underwood's status is already accomplished. She has ton of money. It didn't mess with any of her current contracts. I mean, I think my wife had told me uh you know Carrie Underwood does the, I think, Monday or Sunday night football uh sound theme song, and like every time, Lord, it plays during the season. I think each time it plays, it's 10 million, close to $10 million per like airtime for her going in her pocket. So somehow, I mean, I think if you all around, you tally up that deal, I mean, she gets paid a lot of money, a lot of money. All right. And but she's worth it. She's a talented artist. So again, I doubted that I mean, she wasn't hesitant to perform during this. Yeah, a lot of artists will assume that, oh, I'm taking a leap of faith by, doing anything with Trump's stamp of approval on it. But she I doubted that this is hurting her feelings and hurting her credibility or hurting her fan base. I doubted that it's gonna get worse for her. I don't know. We will see. I'll continue to share it here on the show. But I just thought that was an interesting because I just thought it was interesting because for the longest I've spoken about Snoop Dogg, Nelly, Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, um the men, men of hip hop who had supported Trump. Like, that's more understandable because again, the relationship right now between Black Americans and Donald Trump, it's a little testy. So when you see folks like Snoop Dogg, especially who was a huge critic of Trump, all of a sudden perform, like, it's more of a storyline to it in comparison to a Carrie Underwood performing for Trump. I mean, again, it just, one makes a great story. The other one is like, that's toilet tissue. It's plain. It's not gonna do anything for me. So, anyways, as I digress from that, I want to move it on to more complications that is occurring in the since Trump has, been elected into office. There has been so many shakeups in everything. When I mean everything, like in everything, in let's see, in his executive orders that he's been doing, um, in media, in legacy media, CNN, MSNBC, the liberal media networks that have been a huge critic of Trump, they're taking a hit. They're taking a hit. ABC had recently had to uh, pay the Trump team or the Trump administration like what, 15 million. This was before he had got elected, but like it was a defamation suit for that. Um, Oh, what else? There's a suit happening right now brought against CNN. Now, I don't know too much about it, but I know there was a suit that was occurring. So, being that CNN is also in the space of trying to, I'm not going to say diversify, but trying to find its way back to the top when it comes to ratings because they've been struggling. They have been struggling. Um, They lost. This was maybe 2 or 3 years back, but they had lost some of their top names. It's old news, but it's still very relevant. Chris Cuomo was fired. Don Lemon was fired. They went back and forth. They've had what, three presidents, I believe, in a short span. They had a failed streaming service in CNN Plus, I believe. Um, they've been struggling. Okay. They're trying to, you know, put themselves in the centrist category, right? Having folks on the right and left changing up shows, bringing strong conservatives like a Scott Jennings, who is, one of TV's uh, most popular villains in the lens of the liberals out there, but in the lens of a conservative, he is top notch, right? Um, yeah, it's a lot of changes happening in CNN, but recently, uh, it was announced that one of their very popular let me see here, one of their very popular anchors who has been there for, I want to say, almost 20 years, 18 years to be exact. Uh Gentleman's name is Jim Acosta, who was he was very, very critical of Donald Trump, and just always a guy that really dug it into the right, specifically the far right. Let me go ahead and play you this soundbite recently when he made the announcement that he was leaving CNN, something that folks really didn't see coming. But let me go ahead and play you this soundbite, and we'll talk on the other side.
One final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. One final message. Don't give in to the lies.
So you that was one final message. I think, hold on, I think I have another soundbite that gives more of a longer speech given from Mr. Acosta. Let me see if I have it, guys. If I don't, I'll just continue to let's see. Nope, I don't think I have it. Dang it, I thought I did. I thought I did. Well, looks like I don't. But that's cool. That's cool. So let me go ahead and read you more in contents what Mr. Acosta had to say in regards to his to him saying, "Hey, I'm out. Deuces. I'm out of here." Uh so it says here that the anchor, obviously, he had made the announcement that he would be quitting the network rather than accept an offer for a new late night time slot. So Acosta announced recently, at the end of his hour morning show on the network, telling viewers, don't give in to the lies, don't give in to the fear. He decided, he didn't specifically tie those sentiments to Trump, but the implications was clear. They say CNN says its decision to move Acosta out of the daylight and into a time slot to begin at midnight time had nothing to do with politics. Now, originally his time was around like the 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time slot. When it comes to, I guess when it comes to news, morning time is pretty, pretty solid. Like that's a good time folks enjoy to be around, because I look at it like this. Now I'm different because I'm a late night kind of guy, right? But morning news, okay, the average American is what? Uh Getting up in the morning, they might get up at 5 o'clock, 5:30. Some folks might get up at 7. CNN has coverage that I want to say starts at 5, maybe even earlier than that. I know for sure they have they 5 a.m. and then they go on until uh close to the midnight time. Um Their morning slot has been choppy, right? The only folks I can say that succeeds when it comes to morning news, and I don't mean succeed as far as for bringing out great content. I'm just saying succeeds when it comes to ratings. Fox News has Fox and Friends, right? That's their morning slots. Uh, CBS Morning News, Good Morning America, or GMA, the Today Show, right? Um, Morning Joe, right? That's 6 to 10 frame, and then they have something earlier, like Early Start or something. News Nation, and they're still picking up pieces with what they're still trying to gain ratings, even though and there's a story I might mention a little later. They're actually doing pretty decent with their ratings. Um, but Acosta was comfortable with that 10 a.m. He enjoyed that 10 a.m. And the reason why I brought all those shows, guys, because in the morning time, what you're getting ready to go. Some folks like to put on the television while they're getting up first thing in the morning, right? They keep that on their television all morning until it's time to go to work. Now, some workplaces will keep the news on um or the news on their television screen in some offices. Some of them are choppy when it comes to uh uh showing politics, right? But your average retired person, they might keep it on the news all the time, for that demographic. They have Sirius XM where you can listen to it 24/7. So if you can't watch it, people will listen to it while they're at work. So there's multiple ways, right? You could say, okay, these are some good prime spots that are getting more visibility. And Acosta had been a known figure. He's been doing great. He had viral moments, being in the briefing room and whatnot. And they're like saying, okay, look, let's do an adjustment, right? Let's try and change it up. So says here that less than a half hour before Acosta's announcement, Trump posted on social media that rumors that the anchor was leaving were good news. Jim is and I quote here, says, Jim is a major loser who will fail no matter where he ends up. That's what Trump said on Truth Social. Again, this is our, excuse me, this is our fearless leader of the free world. This is our president, right? A guy that is obviously, what is he doing? Being a bully, being whiny. Yes, you have critics, right? That doesn't mean you got to criticize each and every critic. Look, you're at the top right now. You need to start ignoring the outside noise. Not saying I fully disagreed with Jim Acosta's stance in his questioning Donald Trump, but I mean, to me, that's pettiness. That is just pure pettiness, just to say. Um, let's see here. CNN announced that he announced that Trump's first week back in the office, that it was shuffling its daytime lineup to move Wolf Blitzer into Acosta's 10 a.m. Eastern time slot. Now, Wolf Blitzer has seniority. He's been at that station, I believe, since it was like started, since it came into existence, and he's been there ever since. But this will be a new round for Wolf Blitzer. He'll be moved to the 10 a.m. time slot, paired with Pamela Brown. The network said it has offered Acosta a job at midnight and would move him to Los Angeles, okay, where his show would air at 9 p.m. and also simulcast the program on CNN International. Um, to me, I don't see that being a bad thing, but I get it as far as, hey, if you're already set in stone, I'm not sure which city he was in. He could have been in DC or New York. I know those are like, locations where a lot of the, you know, studios will be at. I get it. You want to stay on the East Coast, don't want to go on the West Coast, especially, okay, they're recovering from the wildfires. Um, why make that huge transition, especially if you've been on the East Coast for this long with that station. Um, the show simulcast on CNN International. I mean, again, boom, is getting in that digital space. Acosta, who has been with CNN for 18 years, had turned it down. Um, he said people often ask him if covering Trump's first term as president was the highlight of his CNN career. Instead, he said it was the chance to cover former President Barack Obama's trip to Cuba in 2016 and ask Cuban leader Raul Castro a question about political prisoners. A quote, it says, "As the son of a Cuban refugee, I took home the lesson that it is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant," Acosta said. "I always believe it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that at CNN and plan to go on doing it in the future." He then went on to say in his final message, "Don't give up the lies. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope." Mm, I mean, hey, well said. Well said. Let's see. Do I have any more to read about that? So yeah, so that's the story of in regards to Jim Acosta leaving the network. Another a long, um, very successful anchor, leaving CNN. So, I personally, I don't think that would be a huge hit. I mean, a huge hit for the network. Um, well, actually, I take it back because even though Wolf Blitzer is a popular guy, it's gonna be an adjustment. It's gonna be adjustment. Okay, you moving him to a morning time. He's paired with somebody, so like, how is this gonna work? Like, it's gonna be interesting. I know Audie Cornish, who hosts a CNN podcast. She's a regular political CNN political commentator as well. We've all known her from her years at NPR. She will be hosting a 1 hour morning show. Um, I think around the 5 to 6 time frame, I believe. Katie Hunt will be, or Casey Hunt, excuse me, Casey Hunt will be moved in a little later, maybe evening, early afternoon. I mean, excuse me, late afternoon, early evening time frame. So they're swapping everybody within the network. But we will see. I'm curious. I'm curious to see the how the shaker will go, if it will improve the ratings for CNN. We will see. But what I do know for sure, my friends, is I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. Y'all, my people, don't go anywhere. Look, we have a lot more in store here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do me a favor, do not change that dial. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. Look, on another staying in politics. We're not going anywhere yet, but we are staying in politics at the moment. Um Earlier I gave y'all kind of like uh uh a guessing game on um which politician recently just got sentenced to uh to jail. That's right. I asked you, do y'all know the name of the politician? He's a former U.S. senator out of New Jersey. Still waiting? No, still nothing. All right. Gentleman's name is Bob Menendez. Bob Menendez. I've spoken about him on the show a while back when I was had a title of one episode talking about corruption, political corruption, and there's politicians that so many folks have put faith and trust in them and saying, "Hey, you're going to help us have a better lifestyle, not just lifestyle, but better just living condition, a better life for hardworking people and their families." But no, yeah, folks, that just it's all about them, me, I, and they're in it for the personal gain and benefits and the power. That is a Bob Menendez, right? So recently it was announced that Bob Menendez had been sentenced to 11 years in prison on corruption charges after being convicted of abusing the power of his office in exchange for bribes in the form of gold bars, a luxury car, and other items. Menendez, who is 71 years old, is the first sitting member of Congress to be convicted of acting as a foreign agent. Now, prosecutors had asked the courts to impose a substantial prison sentence to provide just punishment for this extraordinary abuse of power and betrayal of the public trust, and the deter others to from ever engaging in similar conduct. Now, this reported by Axios and says here that the obviously he was sentenced to 11 years after being found guilty on federal charges relating to accepting bribes that prosecutors said were tied to Egypt and Qatar. Now, the 71 years old maintained his innocence, but was found guilty on all 16 counts. You hear me? On all 16 counts. And he was sentenced alongside New Jersey businessman Wael Hana and Fred Davies, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, um, who were also charged in the case. It says here that Hana, an Egyptian American citizen, received more than 8 years in prison, and real estate developer Dapies 7 years, according to the DOJ, Department of Justice. Menendez has said he plans to appeal the guilty verdict. U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon said in a statement that the sentences were the result from an an egregious abuse of power at the highest level of the legislative branch of the federal government. Menendez was was trusted to represent the United States and the state of New Jersey, but instead he used his position to help his co-accused and foreign government in exchange for bribes like cash, gold, and luxury bars. And I remember, y'all, they were saying they found like gold bars in this man's jacket in his like coat closet. Who just keeps gold sitting around their house? Now, what kind of old school mess is that? Now, I've heard folks leaving stacks and stacks of cash in their couch or in the mattress and this and that and the other. But gold bars, really? In your coats? Really? My goodness, I tell you. Sentences impose it's a clear message that attempts at any level of government to corruption the nation's foreign policy and the rule of law will be met with just punishment. The interesting thing is Menendez, who is the Democrat, by the way, Democratic U.S. Senator out of New Jersey. So once again, y'all, political corruption is involved in both sides of the aisle, both sides, Democrat and Republican, and it's extremely disheartening to that we witness this on a regular. In my opinion, it's like it's a regular. This is not a new or like a shocking story. It's like this is what everybody already assumes. And it's hard for me when I'm sharing with them, like, hey, that's not uh all elected officials, local, state, federal, right? I have the opportunity to be friends with some folks that work in local office, in state office, right? And some even in federal office. They do mean well, right? But folks like Bob Menendez gives them a bad name. Let me continue. Menendez claims that this is political corruption outside the New York federal courthouse after he was sentenced. Oh, this is political corruption. He says, here's the kicker. He says here, President Trump was right. President Trump was right. Right about what? Right about what? This process is political and it's corrupt to the core. I hope President Trump cleans up the cesspool and restores the integrity to the system. Now, here's the funny part, and this is the hypocrisy. I'll guarantee you Menendez was a part of the, of the left that would say, Trump, shut up with the whole accusations that this is a political corruption, political driven, or political prosecution case. No, this is a fair trial. You are found guilty. You need to uh be dealt with as far as after committing the crime. Now all of a sudden he's saying he was right. This is political corruption. He will just not budge, dude. You got caught. And see, Menendez has always been caught up in political I'm sorry, in controversial cases, because this is not the first time he's been accused. Well, this is the first time obviously he's found guilty, but he's been accused before many of times in previous years, which is like, why? Like, well, dude, what's your problem? Um It says here that prosecutors accuse Menendez of accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, including the gold bars, and $480,000 in cash, while using his position as a senator to enrich the co-conspirators and the government of Egypt. He and his former wife, Nadine Menendez, was initially indicted in September of 2023. A superseding indictment the following month charged him with conspiracy to act as a foreign agent on behalf of Egypt. In January of 2024, other superseding indictments accused Menendez of accepting bribes from Dabiz in exchange for helping the government of Qatar. Now, in March of last year, a third superseding indictment charged him with obstruction of justice. I mean, okay, here's he was previously indicted in 2015 on an unrelated federal bribery and corruption charges. The case ended in a mistrial in 2017. Um, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. The man is guilty. Man's a crook. Can't be trusted. Sad thing is, he's not the only one. There's more people like him that serves in high leadership. Ridiculous, my friends. Ridiculous. Oh man, what do I have? What do I have next on the lineup here? Are we looking at my time here? Let me go ahead and come out of politics. Let's move on to some pop culture. Really in the sports world. So y'all know a little bit about me, man. I am a huge wrestling fan. Have been since I was a kid. And I have it was just when it came to action figures, I had them on. When it came to video games, I played them on. When it came to watching wrestling on TV, I watched it all. Like, I love wrestling, right? Well, used to think I could be like a wrestler. Give me Strong and Diesel like a wrestler. I love it, and I'm kind of recirculating the relationship, or not recycling the relationship, watching wrestling again, because I haven't done it really since I was like a young, like a preteen. I really haven't watched it like that, but started to check out our local wrestling circuit here in the area. Then I'm, back to watching on professional wrestling on TV, and you got Raw now on Netflix. I mean, it's a dope thing. So I love it. I bring this up because known wrestler, known performer, the one, the only Triple H, Paul Levesque is his actual name, but we know him as Triple H, had just received a huge honor. He received that he will be inducted in the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame. Now, let me go ahead and play this soundbite, y'all, for those who are watching this clip here. And this just shows the excitement, right? The excitement and the unexpected surprise that he received from his two friends, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Paul. I know I'm sexy. I've got the HBK and The Undertaker have made an executive decision here today.
It's way, way past overdue.
Though you are in the Hall of Fame as a member of D-Generation X, it is only fitting that the cerebral assassin, the Game, Triple H, at WrestleMania 41, take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So from a guy that usually has something to say about everything, I'm speechless. I'm going to kill Nick when we leave here. If you see somebody flying off of the roof, just ignore it.
You deserve it.
I don't know what else to say. Just thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I mean, well deserved. When I tell you, well deserved. A little bit about Triple H, man. I'm trying to see when I can't even say when his career initially started as a pro wrestler, but he made a name for himself. Really made a name for himself as being a part of the group D Generation X. It was him, China, the late great China, X-Pac, Shawn Michaels, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg. I mean, they were the most unfiltered bunch you could think of back when wrestling, well, at least the Attitude Era. That was the name of that period, the Attitude Era, when it was pretty vulgar. I wouldn't bring kids around that. And yet I still know about that at a young age. But he made a name for himself. That grew huge popularity for him. Before that, he was doing more of the singles competition as Hunter Holmes Helmsley, and again made a name for himself. But G Generation X really built him up. Then he became the Game. Went back to Triple H, the Game. Went back to being a single competitor, winning countless titles, being a decorated heavyweight champion. Then he was a part of another group called Evolution. He was the leader. It was him. It was Ric Flair, another Hall of Famer, right? Batista, who's now a famous Hollywood actor, and then Randy Orton, right? I think like a third generation wrestler, future Hall of Famer in his own right. All of them are future Hall of Famers. Triple H had been inducted into the Hall of Fame as a member of D-Generation X. Now it's rightfully deserved of him taking this realm solo. Again, an amazing career. He is the son-in-law of Vince McMahon. He's the husband of Stephanie McMahon. He is also the man who has brought WWE to this even higher status, in my opinion, than Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon took it to billionaire status, but Triple H, Paul Levesque, he's taking it damn near to a trillionaire status, because they are making so much money. They're selling out arenas, football arenas, 2 days in a row, sold out. They're selling out arenas in Dubai, Australia, France. They are selling it outside of the United States. They are killing it on the digital space. They're buying their competition. They are on top of the world when it comes to sports entertainment. By none. By far. They are killing the game. Well, he's killing the game, but he's still the game. All right, anyway. He's doing great. And so him receiving this honor, yes, like Undertaker said, it's long overdue. It's absolutely long overdue. Let me see here if it reads. He was a co-founder of D-Generation X, from shepherding future main eventers. I mentioned Randy Orton, Batista, towards WWE greatness and revolution, to leading WWE in a new era on Netflix with his unmatched creative vision. Triple H hasn't just existed on the cutting edge. He's been the one sharpening the blade. He's a 14-time world champion. The Game clashed with litany of legends to seize the throne as King of Kings, like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins. Multiple generations of the ring's very best have felt the sledgehammer wielding fist of the cerebral assassin. His methodology and systematically conquered sports entertainment, capturing almost every major WWE championship. The King of the Ring, two-time two Royal Rumble match victories, and the marquee spot in the epic matches at WrestleMania on several occasions, all throughout an in-ring career that spans 4 decades now. Outside the ring, he has a major success came during the creation of NXT, a developmental brand designed to build the future stars of WWE. As lead creative mind, along with likes of Michaels, William Regal, Matt Bloom, and others, Levesque created a transformation brand that has molded the brightest in-ring stars of the 21st century, including Charlotte Flair, daughter of Hall of Famer Ric Flair, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and dozens more. What started as a developmental program has become a third WWE brand with its own identity and accomplishments, thanks to Triple H's vision. Once again, my friends, congratulations to the game Triple H. Lastly, I want to share this was some sad news that recently happened. No, I thought I had it there, but there was a plane crash that happened recently. Very, very sad. Oh, here we go, right here. Let me play this for you real quick. I'm looking at my time right now. Let me see if I can play this real quick. There we go.
CNews special report.
Good evening. I'm Byron Pitts at ABC News headquarters in New York. We're interrupting to bring you breaking news. We're learning that a small plane has gone down in the Potomac River near Reagan National Airport in D.C. Details are still limited this hour, but reports are there are a number of casualties. We believe there are 60 passengers on plane. Fire and rescue teams are on the scene along with divers. Recovery efforts are underway. Joining us now on the phone is our aviation expert, Steve Ganyard. Steve, what more can you tell us?
Byron, anybody that's been to Washington, D.C. understands that helicopters are flying around the Capitol all the time. If you've ever flown into Reagan Airport, you know as you come down the river that helicopters are flying underneath those aircraft as they're landing. So lots of helicopters in D.C., but the helicopters are supposed to stay away from the landing patterns of the commercial jets, the commercial aircraft at Reagan National. So why there was a helicopter anywhere near where a regional jet was coming in for landing is a mystery.
I wanted to stop it right there, guys, because I have about around less than 60 seconds to end this program. But I just want to say thoughts and prayers. I'll continue this on the next show, but thoughts and prayers for the folks who have been affected, whose loved ones was on that plane. Again, we're keeping you in our prayers. They're said around 60 passengers was on that plane, along with 4 crew members. So just keeping them in their prayers. I'll give you some more follow-up on the next episode. My friends, continue to tune to the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Fridays on all digital streaming platforms. Peace and blessings. See you next time. I'm out.